Okay.
We're live now.
Uh, A very warm welcome to the ITU Innovate for Impact 2025 online awareness workshop by TSDSI. I am Tushar Kulshrestha from TSDSI, your host for the workshop. Before we begin, here are a few hygiene announcements. This workshop slide change. Okay. This workshop is being recorded and will be posted on the TSDSI website within the next few days. Speakers are requested to kindly deliver your presentations within the allotted time durations, and participants are requested to type their questions in question tab in the tool. This workshop will provide an overview of the AI for Good 2025 event, its objectives and significance, showcasing impactful case studies, including experience sharing from the 2024 event, a platform to plug into TSDSI mentoring network and identify collaborative opportunities towards the event. I now invite Ms. Pranita Upadhyay, Head of ITU Area Office and Innovation Center, India, to give the opening remarks for today's workshop. Um, we are honored to have Dr. Pranita Upadhyay with us today. She is the head of the ITU Area Office for South Asia and Innovation Center, leading regional ICT initiatives and fostering digital transformations. With over 27 years of experience across academia, government, and industry, she has made significant contributions to AI-driven healthcare, telemedicine, and e-government. Welcome, Dr. Upadhyay, ma'am. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. First of all, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very much delighted to be here. As mentioned earlier, I'm Pranita Upadhyay, Head of ITU Area Office and Innovation Center in New Delhi. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to ITU Innovate for Impact 2025 Online Awareness Workshop by TSDSI. Let me introduce ITU in brief. International Telecommunication Union is the United Nations specialized agency for ICT. As the oldest agency of United Nations family, it aims to connect the world to advance digital technologies and to develop international standards and to bridge the digital divide for sustainable development. And it has members of from 194 countries, Palau being the recent one, the youngest one, and more than 1,000 companies, universities, and other organizations to work together to connect the remaining 2.6 billion people who are still unconnected. So this ITU Area Office and Innovation Center is relatively young. It started in the year 2023. The office was inaugurated at the highest level by Prime Minister of
Excuse me,
India,
ma'am.
Mr.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Narendra Modi.
Pranita, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you, but we cannot see you, ma'am.
Okay, I'll switch on the camera. Sorry, I
Okay.
forgot to switch on the camera. Okay. Can you all see me?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All good now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for the inconvenience. I just forgot to switch on my camera. The ITU Area Office and Innovation Center brings together the government, industry, and academia and others in the entrepreneur environment so that digital advancements in the sector such as agriculture, health, and education can reach the communities that need the most. And our area office covers countries like Nepal, Bhutan, uh, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. This innovation center is the Global Innovation Center, which brings together the main stakeholders of the digital innovation ecosystems like entrepreneurs, finance, support networks, public sector, academia, and private sector, and serves as a global center to reduce the technological inequalities. It will allow us to spotlight the Indian ecosystem through South and triangulating cooperation while supporting ITU's mission with new capabilities and accelerating digital development. In the context to share with you the collaboration with TSDSI, who is our key partner and ITU member, the webinar series on digital technology innovation, case studies from India and Asia Pacific Ocean was, Asia Pacific region, that was organized by TSDSI and ITU with the support of Department of Telecommunications, selected ministers of Government of India and other partners from Asia Pacific region were invited there. It was held across multiple dates from September 2021 to May 2022. A series aimed to engage ITU Asia Pacific community in the knowledge sharing session. Main goal was to explore collaboration of and enhance the region's collective expertise in digital technology innovation. We look forward to continuing and expanding collaboration in the year 2025 and beyond. So, in addition, this ITU plays a key role in advancing AI for fostering global cooperation and providing platform for development of AI standards, policies, and ethics. ITU contribution for responsible and inclusive use of AI to drive innovation, enhance public services, and to advance. I would like to highlight few of the activities that was done by ITU in the past. It was held in AI ML impact in SDGs by ITU in collaboration with members and partners, compiled submissions where 8 countries around the world. ITU successfully innovate for impact workshop for both AI and besides, Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication of Japan decided to support ITU with a new project, Artificial Intelligence Technology Standards Capability in Asia Pacific. The main aim of this is to build awareness among the government officials, key stakeholders on artificial intelligence, technology, and standard development. And recently, in the year 2024, October, during the Telecom Standard Assembly, I think most of you must have attended it. AI for Good Impact India was held. It took place uh, and as a side event where UN agencies showcase their work on AI. ITU also highlighted their many initiatives, including a project called Enhancing Development of Standards and Framework for Critical Technologies in Southeast Asia. It is supported by Australian Government Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. The project aims to support development of AI standards, policies, framework initiatives that mainstream gender equality and social inclusion, and to ensure AI responsible works responsibly and inclusively, and it is properly used in reason. The focus of the project is on 4 countries. I think it was Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Philippines. And besides that, recently, a few days ago, we conducted AI Accelerator for Girls on 22nd and 23rd of January. ITU Area Office and Innovation Center in Delhi conducted a workshop to enhance digital skill among the girls and the women in the latest trend in technology for artificial intelligence that was done in collaboration with EY to implement AI Skills Accelerator program for girls, and it's a 2-year program to address main challenges among girls and women to access to the latest and the emerging trends in the technology. Not to make it very long speech, I think I must say that workshop allow experts as well as newcomers to come together and learn how to benefit from such initiatives. I think today, let us all work together for such long-term collaboration to push forward innovation in the role of AI in networks and SDGs. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the experts, all the participants who are here today. They have spared their time, valuable time here, and I wish all of you, all of you, a great, all of you, the great success and for the productive workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your insights on ITU's vision and the significance of this initiative. Your words truly set the tone for today's discussions. Thank you so much, ma'am. I now invite Mr. Vishnu Ram Movi, TSDSI, to give the introduction to ITU Innovate for Impact 2025 for today's workshop. And we are pleased to have with us Mr. Vishnu, a consultant at TSDSI with over 25 years of experience in telecom industry. He has played a key role in developing and implementing standards and holds multiple international patents. A senior IEEE member, he actively contributes to NWG 13 in India and serves as the vice chair of the ITUT focus group on autonomous networks. He is also involved in global AI/ML in 5G initiatives and has been recognized as a scientific advisory board associate for Motorola Networks. Welcome, Mr. Vishnu, sir. The floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Asif, and thank you, Pranita, for that nice welcome note. We can go to the slides, please. All right. So today I will take about 20 minutes to run you through this introduction. I will try to cover basic set of points, which I normally do quite informally. So please sit back and let's go through this. There is a bunch of presentations coming from experience from last year's initiative as well. So let's go through this one first, and then we will switch gears to that. This is what I will cover today. What are the basic fundamentals? I mean, what is this initiative about? Why should we do this? And a little bit of um, a taste on how to draft submissions. I won't go into a lot of details, but we will have detailed mentoring sessions later. But I will just give you a brief taste of what are the things to come. Next slide, please. Okay. Mm, so Innovate for Impact is an ITU initiative under AI for Good. And this is the second time we are hosting this. ITU successfully hosted this in 2024. And we hosted workshops at both the AI for Good Summit as well as in WAIC in Shanghai in July. There are people in the panel who are coming after me who will speak about their experiences. The top use case authors were invited to present their work at the workshops. That is in Geneva as well as in Shanghai. And there is also opportunity for students, if you are a student researcher or a professional looking for scholarship. And then you could be selected as AI for Good scholars, and you could participate in panel discussions, trends, etc. We are having one of them here today. He will talk about his experience. Prithvi will talk about his experience as a scholar later. Um, the report it's a global report. It has 53 use cases across 19 sectors. That's published. It's the tip of the iceberg, actually. There is a huge set of submissions that we got as part of this initiative as well. And what we published is actually a very creme de la creme, if you will, that's very, very top that we selected and published. Actually, we have panelists who are authors. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, this you can find in our website, ITU website. Can I request Chandrakanta, please send this website? Thank you, Chandrakanta, please send it to everybody. to the participants. You can find this. Actually, there are 3 ways to apply and part of this initiative. You can submit AI use cases. You can become a scholar, or you can join the technical advisory committee. Last year, those who have gone through this last year might all remember that we did not have the technical advisory committee, but now this is a new part of the initiative that we have added this year. So if you are a senior expert, domain expert, here is a chance for you to be shaping what ITU is doing in this initiative as well. Okay, so let's look at one by one. What are these details of these? I will cover them as we go. There are use cases, scholarships, and advisory committees. Next slide, please. Okay, so use case application. So I get a lot of questions on how to formulate this use case application. What is a use case, and how to format the application, etc. There is a template in the website. I am not talking about the template, but in general, what should go as content and how should we approach as an author? How do you approach this drafting process itself? And that's what I mean. So if you look at the use case application, typically, what I suggest is to pick a problem, a practical problem. I have examples, and then there are panelists who talk about their own examples as well. But pick a problem, pick a practical problem. We don't have a dearth of problems in India, right? So they pick a practical problem, for example, agriculture or any of the sustainable development goals, education, agriculture, or industry, 4.0, manufacturing, health, and so on. There are many SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Pranita mentioned the activities that ITU does in general for Sustainable Development Goals. But here is an opportunity to pick a problem and solve it using AI and connectivity. That's the pillars, if you will, to pick a problem, a practical problem that we can solve using AI. And then you have to describe the use case in a little bit more detail. This is no different from how you would describe to any newcomer to that problem, right? I mean, what is the context? How would you, what's the gap in it right now? How do you apply AI? What are the data sets, if there are any data sets? And I would also suggest to add, what is the unique value of your solution? What are your proposals? What are the unique values of the proposal that you are making? And then you need to submit the use case. Scholar application, similarly, scholar application, I would suggest to read the last year's report, because scholars are required to know that, okay, there is a little bit of background, what we have done last year, what the scholars have done last year. So reading the last year's report can really help you to do that. I would also suggest to pick a topic or a use case, which is, I mean, not required, but my pro tip is that to win, it is better to win the scholarship. It's always better to have a favorite topic in your front pocket, if you will. And you justify the unique value. That means, what are you bringing? What are you bringing to the table as a student, researcher, professional, industry professional, whatever you are? What are you bringing to the table? Then you need to submit a scholar application at the right time. Technical advisory committee application it's better. This is for senior professionals, academicians, startup founders, whatever, right? So I would suggest, this is again a pro tip, is that to read up the last year's workshops, because it will give you a flavor on what are the applications which has come, which solves these problems in SDGs using AI, who has been selected, from where they have selected, what are the criteria that we apply, last year for selection of these use cases, reports, and scholarships. That will give you a good idea. And study these problems and profiles a little bit more. It will get, the report is public, so you can look at the report, and the report link is already there in the link that Chandrakanta sent you. So you can study those problems, use cases, and profiles. And then you also need to justify the unique value. That means that what are you bringing to the table? Are there specific domains that you are experts of? Have you served in TPC or something like that? So this is a review profile, right? You are supposed to give guidance for the activities that we do. Ah, there is a typo. So that's not submit the scholar application. That is submit the TAC application, the Technical Advisory Committee application. Next slide, please. I will go into a little bit more detail in the next. Good. Okay, so who can participate? This is free of charge, and it is open to all individuals and organizations. That is coming from pretty much any country that is a member of ITU. I mean, pretty much everybody is. There is academia possible if you're a prof, if you're a student, if you're a researcher, postdoc, PhDs, doesn't matter. Startups are welcome. Industry professionals are welcome. MNCs, Indian local startups, doesn't matter. I mean, professionals, doesn't matter. Policymakers, yes, we request them to apply as well. In last year, actually, we had some submissions from IAS officers, and they were really nice submissions, which explained what are the initiatives that they are doing, etc. NGOs and non-profit organizations and so on, and individuals as well. Next slide, please. By the way, gender balance and regional balance are a criteria for ITU. So we will look at mentoring and as well as balance to provide gender balance and regional balance. Next slide. Okay, so just to explain, I always get this question, what is in it for me, right? We always think on the lines of the benefits, right? So this slide is explaining the immediate karma, if you will. So the instant coffee. So that means that you will of course get workshop experience. It's a beautiful place. The conference hall that is here, it's an actual picture, and you can see the Secretary General in the picture. If you look at our website, that's a great experience just to be there. Okay, so if you are a use case author, or if you're a scholar, if you are winning a scholarship, if you're a part of the tag, then you are invited to that experience. In addition, we always give out awards. These awards come as part of the selection. You stand a chance to win. You see here the top 30 awards. First time it comes to India from Tata Elxsi. It was a great experience. First of all, for our member to win, TSDSI member to win, but at the same time also a recognition for the country, right? Also, we have Mr. Priti sitting there. He seems to be enjoying himself. The scholars are invited from different parts of the world, and that gives them an exposure experience in Geneva, and it's being part of the international group that makes a lot of difference. And we will talk to Prithvi later in the session as well. And you can see prizes, certificates given out by dignitaries. There's a chair of AI for Good, along with Ramesh, who's our representative from Tata Elxsi, and there are other use case authors standing there as part of the picture. So that is instant coffee. I mean, instant karma, if you will. Next slide. But for us, I would also suggest to look at a slightly longer term picture. Yeah. So for me, if you ask me, the real benefit is to get a long-term partner. I mean, study partner, if you will. So when you're kids, you have this to crack exams. You have study partners, right? So similar to that, TSDSI runs mentoring sessions. So you can um, think of a study partner. This is what we do. So there are steps here mentioned. You start with pre-standard activities such as this. So AI for Good, ITU initiatives, Innovate for Impact. These are pre-standard activities. These are not standardization activities. So I mean, primarily speaking. So start with these pre-standard activities and then going towards normative standardization activities is a path which is open to you. And here we have a study partner from the mentoring sessions with TSDSI. And also Pranita talked about the WTSA standpoints and positions, so which you take in such forums, including standardization forums, regional standardization forums. WTSA can be derived from this kind of activities analysis that we do as part of these initiatives, pre-standard initiatives, and that gives a firm grounding. If you ask me, that gives a firm grounding for the papers that comes out in the form of resolutions or policy initiatives or whatever. And extensions and customizations for local needs is also an important part, which is considered as part of these use cases, scholars, and the TAC. So they are selected with diversity in mind, selected with regional requirements in mind. And as part of the mentoring process, we also incorporate requirements. If you look at the report, it includes requirements for regional customizations as well. And also on the right side, I have this studying use cases for local applications, creating knowledge base, fine tuning with local experience, and monitoring with feedback. So this process is the real benefit, if you will. And here, as I told you, we have a study partner in TSDSI. Next slide, please. I believe freelance. Yeah, so that's my favorite term. GPUs. You see the models coming out these days. They hog GPUs. Yes, there are new techniques which are using lesser GPUs, but whatever it is, that the GPUs are costly. And there I have seen the most important and popular complaint that I get, especially from academia, especially from developing countries, not only India, from other countries as well, is that we don't have access to GPUs and we don't have access to cloud. We don't have a lab. How do you expect us? That is the first complaint that I hear. ITU provides state-of-the-art compute in the form of cloud. GPU credits are available. You just need to ask. So if you go through the process and apply, that's where you get free lunch. Next slide, please. So let's look at the bouquet of opportunities. Yeah. So for me, it's not just a standalone initiative. We go through the call for participation from January till July. There is a timeline which we follow. And the timeline is in the website, but at the same time, um, I look at it as a bouquet of opportunities. So it's not a standalone one. So we look at when we look at use cases, right? When you study, when you review, when you analyze data related to use case, that forms the first pillar for us. The credits, the GPU credits that we discuss, that forms the test bed for us, along with open source tool sets and the international partners who bring tool sets from the open source. We also publish research papers. Kaleidoscope was held in Delhi, and AI for Good Impact was held in Delhi. Pranita mentioned this. Hackathons were held in Delhi as well. And now we are running focus groups on AI native networks. So this is a pipeline. You enter the pipeline on the left side. The first step is to answer the call for participation. And then you go through this pipeline of use cases, scholars, and tag, and then you reach AI for Good Summit in July. That's the pipeline. Next slide, please. So the open data set. So I always get this question of I don't have data. I don't have real data. synthetic data is not good enough. Kaggle data sets are impractical. So we have open data sets which are published as part of the report, last year's report, as well as now we are collating all of them under one umbrella to be available for analysis under these initiatives. These are as real as it gets. 1,000 RRUs, 1,000 radio resource units, and then base stations, from base stations, real deployments. This is published data. There are links here. There are webinars which corresponds to it as well. So before you complain that there is no network data available, you should look at these data sets and engage in these initiatives. That's the real benefit for me. Next slide, please. So another thing that I want to quickly cover, and I don't spend too much time, we will look at this in the mentoring sessions, is to look at how to draft these submissions. So there are three types of submissions, right? So you look at first you look at the use cases. For example, one of the partners have come as proposed crop recommendation engines. This is very popular agricultural use case, crop recommendation engine. You do first you do a survey of the landscape. That's essential part of the preparation. What are you solving? What problem are you solving? For example, here you look at multimodal data, different sensors. There are different meteorological agencies, farm agencies, experts, etc. What are the challenges? There are kits to be calibrated. Nitrogen is depleting, time sensitivity, and so on, right? And they need to scale from greenhouses outwards to the farms. That is a challenge. But the question is, what is your best shot at it? You need to build your greenhouse, create these boards with Wi-Fi connectivity or GSM connectivity, IoT connectivity, creating this reference data pipeline, and we are there to as a study partner. So this is a good example where they have tried their best, they have put the first step forward, and we took two steps towards it with mentoring and open data sets. Next slide, please. So similarly, we can see for the submissions in drafting the submissions for other parts of the submissions as well. Chandrakant, the next slide. Slide is not changed. Okay, for a scholar, you're a student, engineering college. You passed out. You don't haven't hit the campus recruitments. Or you're still looking for a job or opportunities to study, whatever. So that is a good example. What you should look at when you draft the submission, you should look at what is the unique skill that you bring. For example, you have gone through the webinars, you have gone through TSDSI awareness sessions, participated in these ITU hackathons, machine learning challenges. What do you know about ITU and these initiatives? That's the first question, right? And then what have you tried? Open source models, Colab is there, it crashes, I know it crashes. There are Kaggle data sets, and there are discovery series that you have tried. What is your best shot at it? So that means you have played with open source tool sets, free data sets, and submitted papers. Next slide, please. For the TANC, Technical Advisory Committee, the problem is time. So nobody has 25 hours a day, right? So even if you are a senior engineer, you're a multiplexer, whatever, you need to allocate time for this. So that means that if those of you who are served in technical program committees know what I'm talking about. You're a senior engineer, prof, but at the same time you have limited time. So you need to make sure you have time. And then you have also need infinite patience. I mean, those who have kids know what I'm talking about. The infinite patience for mentoring. So you have mentored students, you have mentored freshers, fresh engineers in your company. This is the job for you. You're a domain expert. So it may be project management, could be program delivery, whatever, or technical domain expert, but you can regularly answer questions on this topic. You have volunteered network of women. ITU conducted network of women in Delhi and also reviewed papers for Kaleidoscope. These are all opportunities that we give out. Here you have cut your teeth. That's what is a good thing to bring out for submissions for technical advisory committee. Next slide, please. Okay. So if you need help, Chandrakanta has a meeting announcement group, as well as there is the mentoring sessions that we do every week from TSDSI. That's your study partner. Please be part of this. This is just a taste, as I told you. We can't cover a lot of details in 20 minutes, but we try. I try. But if you need more details, if you need help, press F1. What I mean is, you join the WhatsApp group and join the mentoring sessions. Write to us. There is a QR code that Chandrakanta will display at the end, but we are here. Next slide, please. Okay. With that, I would like to hand back to Asif, to Tushar and Asif, and let's hear interesting stories from the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was an insightful introduction to ITU Innovate for Impact 2025. And thank you for setting the stage for deeper discussions. Now let's move on to our next segment, which is showcasing AI for Good 2024 case studies. I now invite Dr. Sonali Garg, HFCL, to showcase her AI for Good 2024 case studies for today's workshop. Dr. Sonali Garg is a senior manager in the Standards and Research Group at HFCL, leading 60 research and representing HFCL in key standardization bodies like 3GPP, ITUR, and TSDSI. She holds a PhD from IIT Delhi, where she received multiple prestigious awards, including the Best Thesis Award. With expertise in wireless communication, AI-driven networks, and optical systems, she has contributed significantly to IMD 2030 and AI for Good initiatives. Welcome, Dr. Garg. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Prithvi, for the nice introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Thank you.
Okay, so just a heads up that this tool maybe have some problem with my office Wi-Fi. So if there is any connectivity issue, do let me know. I'll turn off my camera. Okay,
Sure, ma'am.
thank you. So Chandrakanta, can you please help me with the slides? Thank you. So thank you. So just a small introduction from my side as well. I am from HFCL Standards and Research Group, and thus this initiative holds a great importance for us. And we like heartfully thank Vishnu sir and team and Chandrakanta, Prithvi Krishna to be the scholar for our use case as well last year, which they helped us greatly to draft this contribution, submit it, and take us to the next steps when it was getting published in the top few use cases. So thank you once again. In this presentation, I'll give a brief introduction of what we submitted last year and how we actually arrived at that solution and what steps we covered in order to probably, get this use case, qualify for the top few use cases. So can we please move to the next slide? Yeah, so this we have prepared just to give, for the participants, just to give a brief flavor of how submission can be done for this particular use cases submission. So the section which we have displayed on the screen right now is quite layman, where you just have to fill your contact details and the division and wherever you belong from to start your submission process. Can we move ahead? Then the important section here is that what is your use case title and what is the status of the use case. So this probably, if you will start submitting your use case, you will figure out that this is the next section, which is an important section, and you have to fill out this section basis what is the the title, what is the category it is fitting in, and whether this use case is a part of product development, research project, and if any other category it suits. Can you please enter? Then the important section where it comes as that you have to give a summary of your use case. So this is if you'll press another enter, so this basically gives the abstract of your submission. So when we read research papers, we understand that abstract gives us the gist of the use case. So this is important. Then as Vishnu sir has already mentioned, that data source is important. If it is public, private, we can actually cite that. Then the most important factor, what SDG our use case is aligning with, what problem are we actually helping in solving. So for example, our use case was telecom dependent. So we cited SDG 9 and SDG 11, which is SDG 9 was telecom in infra and innovation. SDG 11 was smart cities. And we also need to give the justification of this SDG once we are submitting that our use case is aligning with this, global SDG goals. Then we should also look for the partners which actually enables our use case to become a better use case. In collab we actually build better solutions, and it actually enables the global local collaborations and make us learn more. Then we can also cite our background work if we have published any research paper, any patents, any projects associated with it, which actually adds value to our contribution, that we have been working on it for quite some time. Even if we are new, we can cite other research papers which are aligning with this use case we are submitting. And the very important factor is what are the future work which we are targeting after this use case is published, where ITU could actually support us if this use case is important for them to solving a specific societal problem. They'll actually figure out this from our future work section, which we'll fill here. Enter Chandrakanta. And then the most important section is this XML diagram. So why I am mentioning these steps, these all steps in steps here is because out of this 100% evaluation criteria, 10% is on this clarity and completeness of this, all the questions which they have popped up on their submission form. Then 10% is whether this linking to the SDG is correctly justified or not. Then 30% of the evaluation criteria is basis that this AI use case is actually accelerating the achievement of SDGs, which is very important section. We have to justify it correctly. Then 20% of the weightage goes to the future work, which should be clearly outlined, and the proposal should be aligned with ITU scope. Then the last 30% goes to this XML diagram. Whether this XML diagram is clear, does it map to ITU standards and have the potential to evolve into ITU standards. So these are the steps we should keep in mind before we are drafting our application, because we should initially, at least from our side, we should not leave any section unanswered so that we lose out on our marks initially, even before the review process. Next step. So as Vishnu sir has very clearly mentioned that upon selection, there are some top few use cases which are selected, and then the scholars actually help us in drafting that application as how ITU wants to publish it in the handbook. And once again, I will highlight, and thanks Prithvi Krishna for helping us last year. Then basis the submission process and basis the drafting application, few use cases are nominated for the SAIL award. We were also nominated in the SAIL award, which was a great opportunity, and looking forward for the next year as well. Thank you. Next step. Yeah, so here I'm giving you the brief description of what we submitted. And so this was a telecom solution where we were saying that macro radio unit is a product, how we can make it power efficient using this AI solution into the picture. So this actually, if we have, if we have this live example or a solution which we can actually cite or refer into the solution, it actually gives the benefit of solving that real-time problem. So this primary objective of our study was to leverage the time series data analysis technique to optimize network resource utilization in 5G network. If using this ORAN compliant macro radio unit product, I will not deep dive into this product, but all we are saying is that we had this problem statement handy before we crafted the solution to it, and we actually had this data set which which had this varying level of network activity over working days and weekends. And it actually basis that data set, we kind of prepared that comprehensive analysis to discern the patterns and trends of the data set basis the time and day of the weekdays. Next slide. Yeah, so with this use case, so we mentioned that in this use case description, we mentioned that there are 8 RF chains which are active in 88R macro RU. Now we wanted to look for a solution that when there is a low network demand, can we actually provide a solution which can switch off certain radio chains without compromising the service quality? Or even if we also proposed an alternative energy efficiency algorithm which can probably reduce the energy, which can enable the huge power savings when there is a low load requirement. So this solution particularly worked around energy efficiency or sustainability during the load requirements of the day. If it is low, how can we basically turn off the RF chains or enable energy efficiency algorithms so that we can save some power? So we gave some mathematics around it. What is the current scenario? What is the power RU is consuming? How much our solution can save? So with our solution, we propose that we can actually save 50% of the power, and without any AI into it, just an energy efficiency algorithm, we could save 25%. So we could show the comparison that with AI solution into this product, we could actually increase that energy efficiency to 50%, which was a huge energy savings, and it was basically considered due to that. So next slide, please. So now, once we have given the summary of our solution, we have to give the detailed problem statement, detailed solution to the problem, where we added these use case description, pictorially, in mathematics, in text, where we actually cited how we can do that, using this AI at the baseline level. So we said that at baseband level, we are actually enabling this CPU utilization factor as the key KPI for evaluating this energy efficiency or energy utilization into the system, where it actually captures the base station utilization basis the operational workload. So CPU tells us the amount of data sent, and then tells us the CPU occupancy, which further tells us the RU occupancy, and at the 5G basic level, it can actually tells us the physical resource block basically utilization. So we we broke this problem statement from higher level to we tried to dive, and we came up to the basic level where we can actually show how this problem statement can be taken up and can be implemented in real time. So this we added into our solution. So once again, just adding it to show that till what level you can show your problem statement and your solution basis that problem statement. Can we move ahead? Once again, won't take much time. Whatever elements we put in our XML diagrams and uh, what were the objectives of the problem statement we have highlighted here. We can skip Chandrakanta. We can move ahead. This was the XML diagram. Because of this, I think once we zoom in, we can read all the elements, and so this actually shows how this programmable baseband can actually solve our problem which we proposed in this last year solution. For telecom people, it may be aligning with what they think about it, but generally, once again, I would like to highlight that your problem statement, if it is aligning with any SDG, if it solves a problem, it can be taken up. There is no need to restrict yourself to any particular solution. We took what our business unit had this priority area in picture, and this for upcoming 6G, for upcoming IMT 2030 framework in ITU also, energy efficiency and sustainability plays a key role, and that is how we pick up that problem statement last year. So next slide. But this XML diagram actually holds a great importance. It actually carries 30% of weightage for the evaluation. So this should be kept in mind. This should be very clear, and it should be in alignment with ITU. So they have also given on their website. They have also given how do you actually craft this? Where how can you define source? How can you define collector? How can you define AI model? You have to give that, that titles for those sections in XML diagram to enable it to be alignment with ITU AI ML XML diagrams. So that's it. And if anyone wants to reach out to us for any support in crafting their solution or anything they want to reach out to us, my contact details are on the page. We'll be very happy to support. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for providing such a comprehensive explanation of your case study. Let's proceed to our next case study. We now invite Ms. S. Priyadarshini Tata Alexi to showcase her AI for Good 2024 case studies for today's workshop. Ms. S. Priyadarshini have been working with Tata Elxsi for the past 12 years, currently serving as a specialist and test lead. With deep expertise in LTE 4G systems testing within the wireless domain, she specializes in automation using Python, netconf, Yang modeling, NFV, container orchestration, ODL, and SDN solutions. She brings expertise in development, system testing, and deployment. Welcome, Ms. Priyadarshini. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this nice introduction. So, can you start showing the slides? Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So, good morning, everyone. So, okay. So, first of all, I'm excited to share with you all that our colleagues has won the Best AI-Driven Social Impact Award for the use case presented in May 2024. So, I would like to thank Mr. Vishnu Ram sir for his continuous support in submitting this use case. And today I'll walk you through on our journey towards developing a solution that leverages AI and ML to improve mobile broadband coverage, especially in the underserved areas. So our use
Sorry,
case titled as,
excuse me, I'm sorry to cut you. If you want to show your on your camera, please you can.
oh, I turned on, so it's not visible. Is it? Okay, just a moment, I'll check it.
Okay, sure, ma'am.
Is it okay,
Okay,
sir, now?
thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. So our use case titled as easing operation using MLA solution for 6G and beyond network orchestration and secure network operations. This is basically designed for bridging the connectivity gap and create a lasting social impact. Let's move to the next slide now. Okay. So if you look at the current state of mobile broadband coverage, there is a significant disparity between the developed countries and the low-income countries. For example, the mobile broadband coverage is only 11% in developed countries, whereas it is as high as 99% in low-income countries. So this is even highlighted in the GSME Mobile Economic Report and the ITU Facts and Figures of 2023. So the mobile industry is unique and it has the potential to contribute to all 17 SDGs outlined by the United Nations. So our vision was to improve the mobile connectivity and empower vertical use cases through our Neuron products. So Neuron is one of the platform developed in our Tata Elxsi, so that enables the autonomous orchestration of network and provides advanced security features. Can you move to the next slide now? Okay. Okay, so now I'll explain you the challenges in improving the mobile broadband penetration for the vertical use cases. So the challenges that hampering the mobile penetration in these areas are primarily identified as an high cost, lack of technical expertise, lack of operations and security expertise. So lack of high cost is basically because of lack of funding for deploying the infrastructure, software licensing, and base stations. And the lack of technical expertise is basically a lack of a human expertise to handle the deployment and their inability to handle the interoperability issues when integrating a components from different vendors. And the lack of operation is basically a lack of knowledge on their operation sites and security vulnerabilities and the security regulations. So Okay, can you move to the next slide now? Okay, so this is our solution to address the issues of the lack of expertise. So we proposed a method using a GenAI and NLP. So here, this is our neuron product where our user can interact with a neuron product in the natural language and deploy the vertical slices more easily. So here we will be using the GenAI and NLP technologies, which will simplify the process of mobile broadband network deployment for non-technical users. So the service providers can input their instructions on the business intent, and the NLP and GenAI has the ability to transform this business intent into network intent and deploys the network function. Okay. And for the lack of operations, so the ML and AI algorithms are integrated into the neuron product, which enables the end-to-end autonomous network management, including the detection of issues and anomalies in the system. Can you move to the next slide now? Okay. So the another significant challenge I have explained is the high cost, and this is a solution for overcoming this high cost for network deployment. And so here we have used the digital twinning technologies to bring in the solution. So the concept behind it is very simple. Here the public entities or government or organization can log on to the neuron product for sponsoring a network for a special cause. For example, if a particular location needs a network slice for remote surgery, for example, if a location needs an URLLC network slice for remote surgery, so any one of the sponsors can log on to the neuron and select the particular location and enable that network slices. So here it provides a more visibility to the sponsors. So they would then have the visibility to log into the sites and able to check the cost required for deploying the network operational. So they are able to predict the credit availability for the next 5 to 6 months for the network operational. So this way they can sponsor the network necessary credits and ensure the network remains operational. So these two solutions basically addresses the technical expertise gap and providing a platform for the cost-effective sponsorship to improve the mobile penetration in the low-income countries. And as a closing note, I would like to thank the ITU United Nations and the AA for Good initiative for recognizing our work and providing us with a platform to make a meaningful impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the in-depth presentation on your solution. Let's move to our next case study presentation. I now invite Dr. Garima Mishra, TCS, to showcase her AI for Good 2024 case studies for today's workshop. Dr. Garima is working as an associate consultant, senior scientist at TCS Research and Innovation Labs, Bangalore. She is working on various projects in networks such as cognitive controller, 5G 6G communications, and other next generation wireless network technologies. With over 10 plus years of industry work experience in modeling, research, and software development, Dr. Garima holds MS Research and PhD from IIT Delhi in the field of communication networks. Ma'am, the floor is yours. Ma'am, you are speaking on mute. Ma'am, you are speaking on mute.
Yeah, sorry. So,
Yes.
first of all, thank you very much for the invitation and the nice introduction. And first of all, I'll thank Mr. Vishnu for introducing us to the ITU platform, where we can engage and explore many possibilities where we are working with respect to, especially for IML in future networks. So, as we all know, ITU is conducting a global ITU AIML 5G challenges. I got it introduced in 2020, and every year we are taking part in these challenges. So there are multiple ITU engagements where we are working closely with the Vishnu sir and ITU platform. So initially we started working for ITU AML 5G challenge. So which Vishnu sir mentioned, it helps us in providing real-time use cases and also real-time data sets we got from many ITU challenges. Like we have got real-time base station data set. We have got real-time energy consumption data set for different deployment in real-time deployments and in different regions. So this is how it has helped us in further evolving real use cases. And then we had engagement with respect to collaboration on ITS communication standards, where like the intent is to provide globally recognized forum for especially for ITS related works. So there also we have engaged with Vishnu sir and the forum, and last time in September we presented our initial proposal, and then planning to extend it this March. And then also we got introduced for this AIML use case challenge last year, February 2024, and we had proposed couple of use cases, and then started working on those use cases and evolving them more of from application point of view and also from Indian context. The very interesting which we figured out about these use cases is that it helped us to map our use case with UN sustainable development goals. Like whatever AI we are developing, we are leveraging nowadays traditional AI. So how they can add on, they can help us in evolving in societal the benefits. This is how these use cases helped us. Next slide, please. So I'll just talk about briefly about our use cases. So first we tried to address the use case which was mainly on underground networks. So like recently when we proposed this use case in November 2023, India had a major this setback when we were developing a tunnel in Uttarakhand, where many workers were stuck inside that. So when we talk about underground, so we can say net place where it is difficult to reach, and we have logistical limitations there. So it can be miners or it can be people working under tunnels. So this was one of the main motivations behind working on this use case. So like the working environment in mining or any underground or any logistically difficult areas where very complex or frequent occurrence of major production of accidents is very frequent. So that's how we started working on it. And due to limitations such as manpower, distance, and operating environments, these solutions are the traditional solutions are unable to timely detect and intervene during unsafe events or risky conditions of equipment. So there we have actually not only human lives but also the equipments which are deployed in that area, they are also at high risk. So there are some areas where humans cannot go. We deploy some equipments, and we rely totally on the performance of those equipments. So we need to have better health conditions and better life span of those equipments as well. So that's how we have come to this use case. And how we have planned to propose the remedy for these problems is like integrating AI based devices for fault detection and management, such as like if in case of mines you have blockages in coal or in conveyor belts, or there are like many other incidents may also happen. And also we need to have very frequent surveillance of the mines or places where humans cannot go or it's risky to go. We need to have quick monitoring. Even though if we do quick monitoring, accelerated and efficient analysis of the data which we get out of it, be it telemetry data or real-time videos, that is very much needed. So we need to have integrated AI based devices as well as very fast processing of those complex data set. So this is what we tried to propose. Next slide, please. On the next slide. Can you please go to the next slide, please? Yes. So here we talk about like the exact solution modeling. So we are relying on AI algorithms which can analyze the communication patterns and network conditions so that optimized data routing can take place for critical messages uh, for and also for telemetry data. And then also by leveraging AI in underground communication systems, disaster management authorities, they can enhance reliability of the devices and taking care of environmental conditions. The emergency messages can reach the controllers within a time limit, and the processing of the uh, real time video or real time data for the surveillance needs to also needs to be easy and little less complex so that we can analyze the situation beforehand. So this the model we proposed was like totally based on AI controlled relay systems. And the UN goals which we tried to map with this use case were like mainly SDG 9 and 11, where 9 was like providing reliable, sustainable, and resilient infrastructure, and 11 where 11 E and B were like mostly on holistic disaster risk management. So this is how we worked on this use case. The second use case was mainly on the sustainable RAN slicing for V2X communication, where we were mostly taking care of safety and security of the vehicles on road. They can be manually driven or autonomous vehicles. The condition was is that the vehicles which are on road are assumed to be equipped with advanced driver assistance like ADAS devices and built-in AI into them, so that predictions and prescriptions can take place on onboard devices as well as at the network side. So why this problem was addressing this problem was important is like we have very dynamic nature of environment when a vehicle is moving, like be it on highway, avenues, or parks. So all these kind of regions are very different from each other. So we can't apply the same model technique when a vehicle is moving either be in on highway or in avenue. So we need to take care of this prediction of QS algorithms for V2X slices in a different manner, because we analyzed the prediction model which we were using for highway was giving very bad accuracy when the same prediction model was used for either park or the commercial places. So in that case we need to optimize those models, and we need to come up with the optimum lag values, so that depending on the region, the prediction of next state of the vehicle can be done in an efficient manner. Yeah. So here again, the aspect of the solution was totally based on like designing of RAN slicing framework, where self-sustainability was one of the main criteria. Like earlier we have seen till 4G, SON was mainly a part of the network, but then SSNs, like where self-sustainable networks are coming up in 5G network, where capability to recover itself is more important when we have such dynamic nature of scenarios around us. So in that case, like we have considered different modeling techniques for different scenarios, and we have tried optimizing the parameters of each model on region, so spatial and considering spatial and time dependencies on the modeling techniques. So that is how we have started developing the solution. Still it is under development. The UN goals which we have considered here is like SDG 3.6, which is on like mainly focusing on how making the numbers half for global deaths and injuries from road traffic crashes. And then the second SDG goal is like 11.2, which is on providing access to safe, affordable, and accessible, and especially sustainable transport systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gurma, for the fascinating insights into your use cases. Thank you, ma'am. With these case studies, we have seen the impact AI-driven innovations can create. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will transition to our panel discussion with our esteemed moderator and panelists. I now invite Mr. Vishnu Ram Ovi to moderate the session. I would now invite the panelists also, Dr. Sonali Garg from HFCL, Ms. S. Priyadarshini from Tata Elxsi, Dr. Hemant Rath from TCS, and Mr. P. Prithvi Krishna from ITU. Dr. Hemant, a senior member of IEEE, is a principal scientist and distinguished engineer at TCS Research Bhubaneswar with 27 plus years of experience in academia, research, and industry. He holds an MTech and PhD from IIT Bombay and a BE from BSSUT Burla. With 95 plus granted patents, numerous research papers, and a co-authored book, he actively contributes to networking and communication standards. Since 2019, he has also served as an adjunct faculty at IIT Bhubaneswar. Welcome, Dr. Hemant. P. Prithvi Krishna has completed his undergraduate studies and coursework in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, with a specialization in communication systems and a minor program in artificial intelligence and machine learning at SRM University, Andhra Pradesh, India. With a keen interest in the dynamic field of wireless communications and telecommunication, Prithvi has been an integral part of ITU ML 5G initiatives and projects for students for the past 3 years. He is the first Indian scholar to be recognized as an ITU AI for Good Scholar 2024. He is also a mentor for the ITU WTSA 24 AI Bharat 5G 6G Sandbox Hackathon. His area of focus has been on the AI applications in the future networks, including IMT 2020 and IMT 2030. Now handing over to Mr. Vishnu Ram Ovi to moderate the panel. Sir, you have 30 minutes for the panel, and I request you all to turn on the cameras for better interaction. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Tushar. The panelists, please come on the screen. Thank you very much. So let us have a quick informal discussion, right? And I would like to keep the discussion flowing. And let's by the way, after this we have also audience questions. So if somebody has questions, please hold on to those questions. and we will take the audience questions after this. So I would request the audience to be prepared with their questions as well. But I have some. Sonali, so I think you have been part of multiple ITU initiatives. I mean, Innovate for Impact last year, you have submitted. Kaleidoscope, you had an excellent paper. I mean, I remember your presentations and the feedback that we did. We were there in Delhi, and as well as the poster sessions and so on. I think there is a you're being participating in multiple of these. What are the common patterns, if at all? What have you seen across these initiatives? What should one look for in these initiatives, especially given your core domain, right? Your use case is what I take as example when I have to give a 5G use case. That's what I take as example. So given this background, what do you see as common thread or pattern across these initiatives that you have been part of?
Thank you, Vishnu sir, for this excellent question, and thank you very much for supporting us in this journey once again. So, as you have mentioned, yes, we have been participating in ITU several initiatives, and all thanks to you once again. But one common pattern, which currently I can think of, is all these forums basically fosters innovation and collaboration. One thing that it actually drives innovation through collaborations among academia, industry, policymakers. And if this happens in a correct way, it can actually yield it's a wonderful result if in collaborations. Then once again, these all the forums, they bridge research and real world applications. So whether it is a kaleidoscope, which is an academic conference, or innovate for impact, which emphasis on market driven innovation, or the hackathon, so which basically gives us a hands-on approach of a problem. So they all aim to bridge the gap between theoretical, that is fundamental research, and the practical deployment. So that is another common thing which I can think of right now. In addition to these forums, we have been participating in ITR WP5T as well, where we are contributing towards IMT 2030 framework. So we understand with all these four forums, it can actually help us in addressing the societal changes and basically supporting the emerging technologies, which are like AI, 6G, IoT, sustainability. So these recurring theme throughout these forums, where we have participated and contributed in the similar theme in all the forums, we understand that this actually helps us in leveraging the cutting edge technologies and address global challenges. So, in a nutshell, these all initiatives tie back to ITU's broader mission of shaping global technology standards. And, discussions like these and outcomes often basically influence the future innovation and emerging technologies. So, thank you very much.
Great,
Thank you.
great. Thank you. I think you mentioned the recurring themes. I think that's the key point here, and also the different shades. Even though the different initiatives are, some are practical, some are market driven, some are research papers, but at the same time, they all have these recurring themes. Yeah, thank you very much. I want to ask Priya. Priya is actually, Tata Alexi has been very consistent in the mentoring programs. I hope I hope that is beneficial. But what I know from the mentor side, but what is it from a mentee's perspective? What is from a team perspective? When you come to this mentoring, when you started till at this point, what are the things to keep in mind, and what are the benefits? Especially when you look at this kind of engagement to these initiatives, what are the requirements from a team perspective when you approach mentoring? Yeah.
Right. So, thank you, sir. So, actually, we started collaborating with TSDSI in January 2024. So, I would say from day one, we have gained invaluable insights from our mentor, Vishnu Ram sir. and whose guidance, unwavering support, leadership have played a pivotal role in shaping all our initiatives, like A for Good Use Case submission, white paper kaleidoscope submission, and the youth hackathon program, which steering us towards the breakthrough we have achieved today. And you have provided us guidance in the strategies, suggestions, and many innovative approaches. So at all stages that help us to stay ahead in technology space. With your continuous feedback and support, we have been able to identify our strengths and areas of improvement that personally I've experienced. So what are the requirements to keep in mind is from my personal experience, what I would say, no, so for any mentoring session, the team should come prepared uh, with the questions or challenges and the ideas you want to discuss. Okay, so it's important to actively interact with or actively work with mentors to find solution rather than just be an active, passive advice listener. Okay.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think this active component, I think that is that's a very, very important point. Um, Preparation, yeah, I think that's the key actually. Mentor can only probably be a catalyst, I think. Thank you for your kind words, but I am just a catalyst. The real reaction happens with the preparation and the active components that you mentioned. Yep, thank you very much. Prithvi, yes. So Prithvi, you're basically not from any of the metros. You're basically from Vijayawada, and you have come a long way. You have been in global calls discussing use cases with China, Japan, and Africa. So, what in addition to the universities that you work with as well to discuss these requirements for use cases under, especially as a scholar. So, I want to ask, what are the learnings? What are the key learnings coming from? And this is an example, right? We would like to have you as an example. As an example from tier 2 city, right? What are the learnings and what are the possibilities?
Yes. Thank you. Firstly, I will thank TSDSI team for this organizing this event and inviting me. So thank you, Vishnu sir, for this opportunity. Like as you mentioned, coming from a tier 2 city, like I am from a Vijayawada. See, I have seen many challenges here, like that may affect agricultural, that may affect traffic congestion here, road accidents, and many more. So, seeing these challenges shaped my focus to become a good ECE student to address these challenges as well as the my motive of communication technologies in a different types of use cases. So while I'm working with my professor, Dr. Uday sir, closely to address one of the challenge road accident use case, fortunately, in my second year, I got an opportunity to connect with ITU team, Mr. Vishnu Ram sir. So and work with these ITU collaborations. So then I was able to work closely with the impactful use cases and projects. So regarding this ORAN concepts and 5G new radio concept for at least 2 years. So as actually Vishnu sir mentioned in the previous discussions, like to winning the any use case, you have to be come up with a unique value and what you are bringing to the table. So that's the important thing. So in the same concept, like I created some demonstrations in the Indian Institute of Science Bangalore through the ITU workshops, and I presented some following documents. I participated in ITU buildathons for 2023 and 2024. So my interest in this particular 5G concepts and ORAN concepts. So I applied as the ITU AFA Good Scholar for 2024. So before when I applied to the ITU for Good Scholar, I am a just final year student. So as I mentioned, with a keen interest in the some use cases to address these SDGs, so I mentioned a very clear point in my proposal document. So once when I enter into the ITU for Good Scholar, so like it's a completely different global perspectives. So I have engaged in more than 10 use cases that address the SDGs, like from India, Tanzania, China, Hungary, and Nigeria, etc. So working on these AI for good projects basically showcased me like how technology can be harnessed to address these critical societal challenges. Maybe it can be a road accident, maybe it can be a communication point of view, and improving access to these use cases. So like I can mention like use cases like AI chatbot for farmers, AI for kidney disease prevention, digital twins for AI based exapps in Open RAN for smart agriculture in 5G, and many more. So these use cases significantly accelerate towards how we can achieve the sustainable development goals. So as coming from this tier 2 city, so studying in SRM University, so I got an exposure towards these multiple countries. So now like we are having at least per day, we are having two meetings with 2 3 countries like sir mentioned Japan team and Nigeria team and many more. So again, a global perspective, like many challenges face the same problem. Like if you see in India or China or Japan, the problem is same. But how do you approaching to address that? Whether you are using an AI technique or any other technique is an important point of view here. So, like considering, as mentioned, what my learnings, considering these global companies and universities, especially I have a chance to connect with Tata Alexa team, Mr. Ramesh Ramathan sir and Jay Prakash sir from Tata Alexa team, and we also have here Sonali ma'am from HFCL company. So I personally met the Tata Alexa team and use case others in Geneva, Switzerland when I visited to AI for Good Summit for 2024. Then also I received the award for Tata Alexa we mentioned in the Sali Award, the Tata Alexa is the first company to come in the top 30. So with the along with the use case authors, I received the Tata Alexa Award in China. So I also met Professor Dr. Paul Harvey sir from University of Glasgow. So we had a meaningful discussions like how my projects are helpful to them. Like if I mention Dr. Paul Harvey sir, is from autonomous subject. So I am from an EC communications background. So how these interdisciplinary collaborations can happen? So we had a meaningful discussions about open source softwares, like what are the open source softwares provided for communications as well as autonomous drones, everything like that. So later I got a chance to connect with other professors, who is Professor James from Federal University of Nigeria. We had so many multiple sessions addressing their use cases. So in the total journey, I really thank AI for Good Team ITU for providing me with the invaluable experience, funding my both countries, visiting Geneva, Switzerland, as well as Shanghai, China. So I was able to learn the time management, like setting my time for different time zones, as well as the good communication skills with all the use case orders and contacts, collaborations, and good city exposure I have got. It's very, but it's like a technically and both non-technical part. And also my special thanks, like I feel very lucky to have supportive parents as well as my mentors along with my way, who have supported for me throughout this journey. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, thank you, everyone. Yeah, I think the cycle of learn, apply, and learn again and again. I believe that is the key part that you mentioned, Prithvi. I think, it's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Hemant, Hemant, along with Garima and your team, right? I think you are one of the long-standing collaborators. Thank you. Special thanks to you. I can't even remember when we when we spoke first. It's a long journey. In your experience, right? You're starting with an idea. Somebody is starting with an idea. Okay, so let's say it may be an academician, or let's maybe a prof or a startup or an industry professional, whoever it is. They are starting with an idea to submit to this initiative, right? And then, what are these steps, and how do you first of all pick this idea? Garima mentioned actually two very nice examples, right? Mining as well as the other one, V2X. So the when you pick such ideas, when you pick to develop these ideas, how do you pick the ideas, and what are the considerations when you look at such initiatives?
Thanks, Vishnu sir. Thanks, the team. I will take a clue from what Prithvi was telling and what Garima was telling. So the point what we say, like idea, whatever, or anything you want to do, actually that to solve the problem of the people or the whatever things around us. That's the key part, basically in my things. Then when your mind should be get ignited, like if suppose some problem is there, the current problem, or you see a problem which can come in future, or you see a better picture of whatever the use case you are facing today or seeing today, maybe something can happen, or the 6G is coming and AI is there, what will happen in 6G and how the world is going to evolve with different use cases. So you have to understand the scenario, the things around us, and where we will be. You have to put yourself in that kind of things. So that will give you some understanding about the problem. If you understand the problem, then you will be like continuously thinking about the problem, and then some solution can come up, then can pop up. Then the solution maybe like it's an idea kind of thing. You maybe may not be going to work. That's the point. So but you have to discuss with the various teams. You have to like I ideate with a hackathon. Then there are a lot of events are happening in standardizations, conferences, papers, patents. So you have to go through all the process, and even in fact you can talk to your business leaders and different verticals, and find out whether the idea you are telling, whether that will be useful to the business or not, useful to the industry or not, useful to academia or not. Because the requirement from academia world and requirement from the business world are the little bit different. So you have to see from their perspective. So whether your idea, your solution will be useful or not, and not only useful, whether it is viable or not, whether it will be like I may have an idea, but I that to deploy to create that it may take 3 years, 4 years. By that time, somebody else will come up and do it. So I have to have a quick period, and I have to bring up that some solution, and then I can improve upon that solution. So that's another point. But Garima was telling that we had a issue was in the tunneling. So that gives an idea like some challenge what exactly we should do, that such kind of things should be avoided in future, because we cannot stop everything, but at least we should get a rescue operations in that things. So that's one major thing, like solutioning discussions, these things. Then you have to, when idea is there a little bit mature, you have to think of end to end kind of things. So it should not only stop at a patent paper or submitting to ITU or some challenge or something like that. You should think from an end-to-end perspective, whether there be a complete solution, or whether some end-to-end flow or end-to-end map has to be there. So that also has to be properly thought through. Otherwise, it is halfway. Like writing a paper, finding a paper, my number count inkage will go, my citation will go, but actually the world is not getting benefited. That's what when I was doing PhD with Professor Avekar, the question I asked, what I did, like MTech or BTech, okay, I get this much CPI to get a degree. But here, what I did that to get a PhD. So here, like the question here, the same question asking here, like whether the idea is going to solve a particular problem end to end or not. If that is going to solve the end to end problem, then definitely there is a major thing. And as I said, like from the industry perspective, as from the academic perspective, maybe things are a little bit different. But these days, Indian academia is also getting more into the industry problems as well as the real life problems. Instead of problems of the West, they are also looking the problems of our own country. That's very interesting. These things. So in short, like you have to find out the problem what you want to solve. Then naturally your idea will come, your solution things will come. And while doing it, you have to see like who all will be helping you. The standard body is going to help you, or ITU is going to help you. TSDSI, all the SDSS meetings are going to help you, or the conference is going to help you. So you have to think of those situations, scenarios, and participate, because you will be listening to many people. Like here, I was listening to Sonal Imam, Priyadarshi, Garima, Prithvi, all the people, and they are giving a lot of challenges, a lot of mind blowing things which can come up as different solution mechanisms for different things. So that's the way you have to go. That's what I feel like. You have to go in the step by step manner to make the things realizable, and to actually some solutions can happen. Yeah. Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, Hemant. I think, what you mentioned about obsession to the problem, right? That's amazing. That's a really good concept that you brought up. Thank you very much. And also, this maturing of industry with the industry exchange. Many times I see academicians going into one corner of their lab, doing some research, but not maturing the solution, right, with industry exchange. That I think that's a great idea also. And this quantization of CGPA versus citation counts versus end-to-end picture. Amazing. Yeah, thank you, Emma. I want to quickly ask Asif and Tushar whether do we have questions from the audience? Please post them here. If you have any questions, please post them here so that the panelists can see it. But I want to seamlessly move into that part. Whenever, Tushar, if you see any questions, please post it here and interrupt us. Feel free to interrupt
Sure,
us.
sir.
But
Sure.
yeah, but thank you. And meanwhile, I want to go round robin and ask one question, which is in my back of my mind. I want to ask, what are your top three regrets for 2024? I am asking this not to have any bad feeling, okay? I'm asking this because it's not only bright pictures that we see in Instagram that really matters. Actually, what matters is that I think there are missed opportunities. I think there are learnings from that as well. In addition to the bright and rosy pictures that we see, there are learnings from the regrets as well, what we missed, so if you think the audience can really learn from your mistakes as well, in addition to the positive points that you all mentioned, if there are things that you think you could have done better, that would be really helpful to the audience. So can I please request you, maybe I should start with Prithvi this time. Prithvi, what are your top three regrets?
Yeah. So in 2024, I don't have top three regrets, but my one regret is like while I was doing my undergraduate studies in SRM University, so I got an opportunity, a placement opportunity to work in KPIT company. So last year, in 2024, I was actually doing there in KPIT company. So, but my interest to address these challenges, but I don't say KPIT is not addressing the challenges, but my interest in these particular ITU initiatives and use cases like brought me to left that KPIT and come in to join this ITU initiative. So sometimes I feel that as a regret, but like coming to ITU is like it's a very heaven. I feel like it's really a great opportunity for any student or any innovator or researcher.
Got it.
That's
Yeah,
all.
thank you. Yeah, balancing. Yeah, balancing these things are tricky. Yeah, I think there is a good learning there. I think balancing these initiatives and this full-time job can be really tricky. I think that is true. We need more than 24 hours. I want to ask.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. There is one question came from Yasho Vijay Singh Yadav. He is asking about satellite standardization contribution.
Nice. Satellites. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for that question. There is one from Neeraj. I saw that first. So I will take that first.
Sure, sir.
Data, what do we expect back? Data shared from smart agricultural system. I believe this is about the data pipeline that we talked about, Prithvi. Would you want to answer that, Prithvi?
Regarding data pipeline.
Yeah, there is a question which says that what do you do with data which is given to you, basically. Yeah.
So yes, so basically using this data pipeline as a source, so we develop how to progress the exact data solution for the different use cases. So using these data sets, how multiple use cases can also be able to collaborate and work.
Hmm. So that means that we for the different as a scholar, right? Let's take the scholar
Hmm.
perspective because if we are in that forum, so we basically take the scholar perspective. You're given data schemas, data sets. I think what you are telling is that you design the pipeline including as per the ITU recommendation, and then we look at how to utilize it for analyzing to hit the use case requirements, probably with reference solutions, and to complete this end-to-end picture like Hemant mentioned. I believe that's what you're telling.
Yes.
Satellite, yeah. So satellite communication standards, I know that what I know is that the non-terrestrial networks is coming, and I know there are very big companies talking about it, but there are standards in SDOs which are working on this, including ITU 3GPP and others. Any of the panelists who would like to jump in and talk about NTN or any other standards in this forum, please? Sonali or Hemant, do you know what is the latest from NTN?
No, I have not gone through, but I think as you mentioned, the terrestrial things are really coming up, and I think that is going to happen a lot when the 6G is going to be there, and especially for the countries, developing countries. So that will be very much essential when if you want to talk to being 6G specifically. So that will definitely going to be a major part.
Great. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I missed it. NTN is essential. So basically, it is an essential part of increasing connectivity, and they are expanding connectivity to remote and the remote areas, villages, etc. That seems to be one important missing link, if you will, literally. And there are open source solutions which are based on OAI. There is work on not only standards forms but also on open source forms. Open air interface. Actually, there are projects which we were tracking. Some of the use cases that I don't want to dwell too much into satellite link as such, but some of the use cases that we talked about, they are looking at satellite integration, NTN integration, to complement the connectivity part. Is exactly what I mentioned. That is to not only have clusters of hotspots, but also to look at increasing connectivity for coverage. They are looking at NTN integration. One of the Malaysia projects that we discussed is a very good example. Um, it's actually a natural disaster prevention use, including satellite images as well as connectivity, heterogeneous network connectivity, both parts. And there are, if you're interested, maybe we can discuss offline about what are the details of the open source projects as well as standardization efforts. If any other panelists have any other inputs, please mention that. But I will continue with my round robin journey. I want to ask Sonali, what are your major missing points in 2024?
So thank you, Vishnu sir, for the question. Majorly, 2024 was a part of a learning process. In this learning process, of course, we understood that we missed few opportunities. One of them majorly was, mentoring or be part of ITU Impact Good for ITU AI Good for India Impact. That was one event we guess we missed, contributing to or be part of. But since we visited that event, we understood that that was a very interesting event. Another thing which I would like to mention here is that since I have already mentioned that Hackathon, Kaleidoscope, and Innovate for Impact are solving three verticals of the market. So this actually could have been an excellent platform to build cross-industry and academia collaboration. Which potential regret would be that we could not fully leverage that and we couldn't, take up that opportunity to form the stronger research industry partnerships. Then third would be, we could have, once we think we can get lots of regrets and lots of learning, but another regret which I would like to mention here is that we could have been more proactive in engagement in emerging technology domains. Like as I have mentioned for IMT 2030 framework, we are contributing towards certain verticals, but currently I feel that further deep dives into areas such as AI native networks or sustainability driven networks could have been could have enhanced the impact of our learning. So yeah, these are the three regrets which I can think of right now.
Absolutely.
Thank
Yeah, I think these are candid things. I mean, I completely understand what you're saying. Proactive.
Vishnu sir,
Yeah.
Vishnu sir, I just want to confirm with you that whether we will be accepting questions from participants who raise their hands, or will be only be taking questions from the Q&A tab.
Oh, we can take a couple of hand raises. I think we have some bit of time, a few moments we have. So yeah, we can take a few questions if somebody wants to raise their
We have
hands. But
yeah,
yeah.
we have Professor James Agajo. I request Asif sir to give him the rights to.
Hello, Professor James. Are you able to unmute? Asif, are you able to unmute him? While we are waiting, yeah, I think being proactive in engagements, as Sonali mentioned, I think that's a critical part. I can um, feel the impact. I think that is something which probably the audience should look at. Um, proactive, being proactive. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with what Prithvi was mentioning about balancing the time, right? I think that also is a critical thing. I want to ask Hemant, if Professor James comes online, we will take him. But Hemant, please.
Yeah. So in start of 2024, we thought we'll be able to do a lot of things, but unfortunately, as you rightly said, the time management was a major issue. But the what I understood, even if you have less time or if you have burden up with so many commitments, but if you keep on doing continuously, what are the things you have already committed, small things, at least every week or every say 5 10 days, all the things, then definitely some significant work can be done. Otherwise, like if you only think of for the last say 1 week before the submission, all kind of things, then it is very difficult to actually bring into a right shape and submit it. That's one regret I have. So sometimes, most of the times, due to some personal professional constraints, we couldn't do much in a periodic manner, a continuous manner. Instead, we had to put our thought and towards the end. So that didn't bring up a good solution. So that's one of the major regret or major thing what I have understood. Maybe that's the all the people, or like we were, well, many of us have faced similar kind of thing. But there is one of things I should candidly say accept.
Yeah, that is actually true. Yeah. Continuous integration. Oh, there is a lot of noise. Uh, Asif, can you trace this force of the noise? Great. Okay. Continuous integration, iterative work against last minute dash. We all know that feeling. Thank you, Hemant. I think that's absolutely things. There's something which I would want the audience from doing. Please make use of your study buddy. I mean, I'm your study buddy, and that really works. I mean, there is limited time for me as well, but we are here. TSDSI is your study buddy, and that helps in this iterative development that Hemant mentioned, as against the last minute rush and last minute dash. Last minute will work give only so much, you may not get selected. So that's the problem. I think that's where I think it will make a difference. If the quality will make a difference, I think Hemant is absolutely right. Um, thank you very much. Priya, please.
Um, yes, sir. So, So one of the regrets from 2024 initiatives would be your experience with ITU Kaleidoscope 2024 event. So we have put a lot of efforts in brainstorming and developing a strong idea for the white paper submission, but due to some other engagement, official engagement, we couldn't able to spend much time on properly drafting the paper and all. So I feel that a limited time submission window might have hindered our chances of presenting a fully defined proposal. That is the one regret that come to my mind.
I think, yeah, I think I understand. Yeah, I think Kaleidoscope was hugely successful partly because of it was co-located with WTSA, and this was the first time that we had policymakers, governments sitting next to academicians, sitting next to startups, sitting next to industry. I think that's this very potent mixture. But yeah, I understand that time window was very less, and there was huge number of papers. I mean, it was just huge. But I think, as Sonali mentioned, right, you go from one initiative to another initiative, it matures. One by one, you are able to mature your idea. Let's try, as if there's a hand raised from Professor James again. Anybody else? Tushar, do you see anybody else hand raised? Or if Professor James is able to unmute, please try.
Okay, sir.
We can also check if any other audience questions are there. We are close to closing, and we will lunch is upon us, so we will close soon.
Sonali ma'am raised her hand.
Personally, please, yeah.
Given Professor James mic permission, so if he can speak. Sorry.
Let's
I'll
let's
wait for
try,
Professor
yeah.
James.
Yeah, thank you, Sonali. Yeah, let's try Professor
Okay,
James,
okay,
please.
okay. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, thank you. I've been trying to talk since, but my mic was disabled from your end. Let me say thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity. Like I say, we can't say thank you enough to Dr. Vishnu for all the wonderful work and all other members of this. Yes, 2024 has been a very, very fantastic year. Let me put it that way. Despite all the challenges, my advice, yes, everyone is busy. We have a whole lot of tasks and obligations around us, but with proper planning and effective time management, we will be able to top some of these tasks ahead of us in 2024. So I would rather advise that we try as much as possible to see how we manage our tasks and map them with time, because it's not actually easy meeting up all of this. We all have our various responsibilities primarily, but this one is equally very important. So that is it. And I want to advise again that there is this journal, ITU journal, just my personal observation. The ITU journal for emerging and future networks that subsequently we tried publishing there, and it's been wonderful. That subsequently, in the course of our works, have been moved forward. We equally consider collaborating and publishing there, publish there. The ITU Journal of Emerging and Future Technology. I think Dr. Vishnu knows what I'm saying and others. So thank you very much. It was a wonderful time and enjoyed all the discussions as we practice 2025. Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much, Professor James. Professor James is our collaborator from Federal University of Technology, Minna in Nigeria. It was a pleasure to have him over for the WTSA hackathon in New Delhi. He and his team were there. He says proper planning. Yeah, I think profs know something about proper planning. I think he knows exactly what he's talking about. Proper planning is important, and also to manage task and time, balancing these kind of responsibilities. He also mentioned journal of future and evolving technologies. Yes, we missed that one. There have been couple of paper publications through this pipeline of initiatives. We have been successful couple of times, but probably more can be done in publishing papers. Sonali, please.
Yeah, thank you, Vishnu sir. So I have two questions. So this is just for the submission process, probably help others as well. Last year we observed that out of many use cases which were published, there were like lot use cases on health initiatives, which of course is helping society, and it's a very good vertical to submit a contribution in. So I just wanted to understand, is there any edge on this vertical over the other verticals which are probably technology or telecom, which we probably submit in? From the UN perspective or from the ITU perspective. This I would like to understand from you. And then there is a deadline of 15th Feb right now. So is there any opportunity where this deadline may be extended? If you have any information, that would also be helpful for crafting our submission. So thank you. These are my two questions.
No, absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I think we don't have any bias towards any SDG, health or otherwise. We have health, agriculture, education, connectivity, 5G, 6G connectivity, spanning across all these SDGs, and really there is no bias. So you should pick organically, like Hemant mentioned, what you can develop and what you can mature. He exactly elaborated the process to pick the area and mature it. I think that's what I will go with. There is really no bias. The deadlines. I would suggest yes, there is a possibility, but I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all. but but I think if you need more time, what is important, what you have control is to send us a request saying that, okay, yes, we can take it up via TSDSI, saying that well, there are some valuable members who would like more time. So definitely we can do that. Who's the hand? Any other hand, Tushar?
No, no. So, just I'll add one additional information, Vishnu sir. So, why we asked about the deadline is because probably we can highlight this to ITU that ITU 5D
Mm-mm,
meeting is being planned from 3rd of Feb to 14th of Feb, which
mm-mm.
people are traveling as well, including me, right? So, this may become a very tight constraint for us to submit. So, if this is possible, we would write. So, yeah,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. I think if there are such things, you should probably raise it. We can raise it on your behalf. We can do that. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. If there are no other audience questions, are there any other hands?
No, no, sir.
Okay, good. Then I think we can
May I
close.
interrupt? Sir, I have raised my hand. Sorry, Garima this side.
Garima, please. Yeah, Garima, please. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I just have one question. There are a couple of use cases which were not selected as like maybe due to preparation or some reason. So we want to refine them and then resubmit those in this. So how that can be taken forward?
Yeah. You can do that. Actually, this is one of the most popular questions as well, frequently asked questions. Yes, you can do that. It is just like any other paper submission. If you have good amount of revisions, if you think there are revisions which are significant, then you should try resubmitting it. And also, you can take our feedback to make sure that it is relevant again and valuable again, and the area domain matters actually. So those kind of feedback, if you like, we are here. But yes, to answer your question, you can revise and submit, no problem. Significant revisions will make sure you have better chance of acceptance this time.
Sir, one more question. The use cases which we submit, they may be just an idea, or they may be mature enough in some stage of implementation, or maybe deployment point of view. So what is preferred? Is it okay to have just an idea and submit, or we need to focus on bringing it to some mature stage, and then with some results we should submit?
Yeah, that's the second most frequently asked question. Yeah, so first of all, you can submit multiple submissions if you like. I'm just extending your question. Secondly, I think if you would like to have POC, if you would like to have benchmark results, you can put it, but that's not mandatory. So you can actually propose ideas which are in different maturity levels. There are TRL levels, right? You know about them, maturity levels, but you don't need to have the highest maturity level which has implementations, deployments. No, you don't need to do that. You can have an outline which says, okay, this is the idea, this is the analysis that we have done, we have put our best foot forward. These are the standards, TSDSI work items, NIPs that you have proposed in this. These are the innovations, that the reports that you have come up with so far, but there are no deployments and implementations available. But given a framework, this is what the outline of the deployment that you implementation that you would like to come up with. And by the way, our global partners are welcome. I mean, this is a beautiful story that I would like to sell. So this kind of stories are welcome, but this is also my bias. I mean, you don't need to have, this is good to have that a complete story, an end-to-end story like Hemant mentioned. You don't need to have results, demos, POCs. And no, you don't need to have that. You need to have a complete analysis of the POC, use case from your perspective. That's all. It's your perspective that you're putting. No POC, no implementation, no deployment. There are ideas at different levels of maturity. We do understand that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, then in that case, we are ready to close. Yeah, any other questions? No? Tushar, we are ready to close and go for
Yes,
lunch.
yes, sir. So let's move to our final segment, concluding remarks and the next steps. I now invite Mr. Vishnu Ram Ovi, sir, to deliver the concluding remarks and outline the next steps. So please, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, on behalf of Madanji, on behalf of Mr. Madan, I would like to deliver the concluding remarks. He's not able to be here, but I will do his words. We are very thankful for including global collaborators to be here. We are very thankful that you are here. I would like to thank all the panelists for the insightful discussion. We had a very good discussion, and thank you to the audience for patiently listening to all of us. The next steps are to kick off a series of mentoring sessions. You are welcome to contact one of us. We are here to guide you. There you go. So there is a QR code. Thank you, Chandrakanta. Please scan it, and you're good to go. That means you can join these sessions, mentoring groups from TSDSI. Always have a study buddy, and that make sure you will crack the exam. That's basically what I was taught. But yeah, so that's the next step. Please don't wait for the last minute to submit. The portal crashes. Normally the portal crashes. Don't wait for the last minute. Let's do this iteratively, like Hemant mentioned, and to look at these points that each of the regrets, learn from the positive as well as the negative. Thank you very much, and thanks to Pranita for opening the sessions, and all the delegates. Thank you very much, audience. We are offline. Session is closed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for summarizing today's key takeaways and outlining the way forward. This marks the conclusion of today's workshop. And before I conclude, I would like to bring your attention to two important upcoming events. First up, we have the 1M2M Stakeholders Day, which is taking place on 12th of February 2025 in New Delhi, India, in hybrid mode. This is a full day conference that aims to gather key stakeholders, experts, and industry leaders to explore the future of IoT and M2M standards. The TEC has already adopted the TSDSI transposed 1M2M Release 2 and Release 3 standards as national standards, and we expect Release 4 to follow soon. This event will provide a unique opportunity for the user community, solution and service providers, developers, researchers, and policy and standardization experts to come together and share insights. The conference is open to all with the prior registration, and you can get more details by scanning this QR code giving on the screen. I'll take like 10-20 minutes of pause so that you can scan it and save it for further. Okay, I hope you have scanned it. Now moving on to our second event. Um, s- Second event, which is our flagship event, the TSDSI Technical Deep Dive 2025, which will be held from 15th to 18th July 2025. And this is gonna be the eighth edition for the conference and will feature 6 online technical sessions from 15 to 17 July, and these sessions will be followed by the conference theme session on July 18, which will take place in a hybrid mode in New Delhi. As we plan for this event, we are looking for your valuable suggestions regarding the conference theme and the topics for the technical sessions. Your insights will be critical in shaping the conference's direction and content. So I request you to please submit your suggestions by 3rd February 2025, and to submit your survey you can scan this QR code. If you are interested, you can click the photo and share with your contact persons, and I'll wait for 10 to 20 seconds. And for more information on this TSDSI Technical Tech Deep Dive 2025, you can also visit our website ttdd.tsdsi.in for more information. We look forward to your participation and suggestions, and we hope to see you at both the events. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all found the workshop useful. You will receive feedback forms for the workshops. Kindly fill them out to share your insights and suggestions. Your feedback is valuable to us and will help improve our future events. The workshop recordings and presentations will be posted on the event website shortly. And with that, I conclude the ITU Innovate for Impact 2025 online workshop. Thank you once again. Namaste.